Dr. Elena Reed sat alone in her small, dimly lit office in a hidden research facility deep within the icy expanse of Antarctica. Surrounded by vast, silent glaciers and endless snow, it was as if the world beyond didn't exist. The facility was a fortress, its purpose clear: to explore the unknown, specifically the mysteries of life beyond Earth. For years, Dr. Reed had been obsessed with the idea that humanity wasn't alone in the universe. Most of her colleagues. She was an eccentric scientist, a dreamer chasing theories dismissed as impossible. They had long since abandoned the search for extraterrestrial life, accepting Earth's role as just one planet among billions. It was the prevailing thought, accepted by nearly every scientist in the field. But not by Dr. Reed. She couldn't let go of the idea that the answers lay somewhere beyond the stars. Her colleagues called her obsession a distraction, but Dr. Reed didn't mind. She was used to the isolation. The quiet of the frozen landscape matched her own. She poured herself into her work, testing every hypothesis, analyzing every anomaly, hoping for a sign that something or someone was out there. The research facility had been her refuge for years, an unremarkable outpost on the edge of the Earth, where the silence was only broken by the sound of her own thoughts. But that silence would soon be shattered. One cold evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the icy world in an eerie twilight, Dr. Reed was sitting in front of her console, analyzing data streams from the facility's deep space satellite. It was a routine task, one she'd done 1,000 times before. But then, without warning, a strange signal cut through the static. It was faint at first, a series of garbled noises, like a whisper carried on the wind. Her fingers hovered over the controls, unsure whether she had imagined it. But the signal grew clearer, more distinct. She could make out words, though the language was unlike anything she had ever heard. The transmission was encrypted, the patterns strange, yet deliberate. And then it became unmistakable. A message. You are not alone. Prepare for the arrival. Dr. Reed's breath caught in her throat. For a moment, she couldn't believe what she was reading. Was it real? Was someone or something trying to communicate with her? She scanned the signal again, her heart racing. The message seemed to originate from deep space, a distant location. The transmission was coming from something massive, something unlike anything humanity had ever built. It was a ship, an advanced, technologically superior ship, heading towards Earth. The words repeated in her mind. Prepare for the arrival. A shiver ran down her spine. She quickly scrambled to decode the transmission further, but the encryption was complex, too complex for even her advanced tools to handle immediately. Yet, despite the technical challenges, one thing was clear: someone was coming, and they wanted to make contact. But the tone of the message was not one of peace, as she might have hoped. It was filled with mockery. The aliens, the beings behind the transmission, referred to Earth and its inhabitants in a condescending tone. Just one planet, they said, as if humanity's existence on a single world was something to be laughed at. To them, Earth was insignificant, nothing more than a tiny speck in the endless expanse of the galaxy. For years, humanity had dreamed of contacting extraterrestrial civilizations. But Dr. Reed had never imagined this, a species so advanced, so far beyond humanity's capabilities, that it looked down upon Earth like an afterthought. Earth's technology, our achievements, our survival on a single planet, these things were meaningless to the aliens. Dr. Reed, however, was not ready to accept that. She couldn't. Earth might have been just one planet, but it was her planet. It was the cradle of humanity, a species that had fought and struggled and triumphed against every odd. The more she thought about the message, the more determined she became to prove that Earth was worth more than the aliens realized. Humanity might not have mastered the stars yet, but that didn't mean it had nothing to offer. Her goal was clear now. First, she had to crack the encryption, decode the message, and understand who or what was coming to Earth. Second, she had to find a way to show these aliens that humanity wasn't just a primitive species. They had to see that Earth was capable of much more. If these aliens were truly coming, they would have to see the strength, resilience, and creativity of humankind. Dr. Reed began working tirelessly, using all her expertise to decipher the transmission. Every hour, every minute, was consumed by her obsession. This wasn't just about discovering new life, this was about proving humanity's worth on the grand cosmic stage. She had to show the universe that Earth was something more than just one planet. In the back of her mind, Dr. Reed couldn't shake the thought that this was bigger than herself, bigger than her work. The fate of humanity might very well depend on how she responded to this challenge. The alien ship was on its way. The message had been sent, and Earth, for better or for worse, was about to face its biggest test. The months leading up to the alien arrival were filled with tension, uncertainty, and awe. Dr. Elena Reid had worked relentlessly to decode the alien transmission, piecing together the fragments of the encrypted message. As the date of the alien's arrival drew closer, the world held its breath. What would happen when the Kunari, the mysterious species behind the transmission, finally set foot on Earth? The first contact was nothing like humanity had imagined. When the Kunari ship entered Earth's orbit, it did so with a commanding presence. The ship, unlike anything humanity had ever seen, dwarfed Earth's largest space stations. Its sleek, metallic surface shimmered as it hovered in the sky. Yet, despite the spectacle, the message it delivered was not one of peace and hope, as Dr. Reed had hoped. Instead, the Kunari's tone was harsh, condescending. "Your species has existed for far too long on a single planet," their leader, Korak, announced through a holographic projection to the leaders of the world. "You are a failure of potential, confined by the boundaries of your small world. You have not risen to the stars, and yet you dare to think of yourselves as worthy of our attention?" The arrogance in Korak's voice was unmistakable. The Kunari viewed Earth's isolation as a weakness, a failure to think beyond the confines of a single planet. They mocked humanity's accomplishments, dismissing Earth's technological advancements as insignificant compared to the vastness of the galaxy. In their eyes, Earth was a footnote in the grand narrative of the universe. Dr. Reed, watching this display from her research facility, felt a sting of betrayal. She had spent her life studying the possibility of extraterrestrial life, imagining peaceful alliances and mutual respect between worlds. But now, it seemed, humanity was being treated as a mere curiosity, something to be dismissed, ridiculed, and judged harshly. The Kunari, however, were not here to destroy. They had a proposal. If humanity could prove it had evolved beyond its primitive instincts, the Kunari would offer the technology necessary to colonize other planets to expand humanity's reach across the galaxy. The message seemed like a gift at first. It was an opportunity to join a larger, more advanced galactic community, to become part of something much bigger than Earth. But there was a catch. The Kunari demanded that humanity first undergo a test. They believed humans were too impulsive, too divided to be trusted with such power. The test would not only challenge Earth's technological capabilities, but would force humanity to confront its moral and psychological limitations. Only if humanity passed this test would the Kunari provide the knowledge and tools to take the next step in its evolution. This offer stirred a whirlwind of debate among Earth's political leaders. Some saw it as a chance for progress, a step toward a brighter future where humanity could explore the stars. Others saw it as a dangerous gambit, a way for the Kunari to manipulate Earth into becoming a subject species. In the midst of the political chaos, Dr. Reed found herself caught between two worlds, the scientists who argued for acceptance and the skeptics who feared the consequences of trusting the Kunari. But as Dr. Reed continued to study the Kunari, she began to notice troubling signs. She had been in constant communication with Koresh, a Kunari diplomat who seemed genuinely interested in understanding humanity. Unlike Korak, Koresh had expressed doubts about the Kunari's harsh stance toward Earth. He even admitted that he sympathized with humanity's struggle to overcome its limitations. "I believe," Koresh had said during one of their private conversations, "that your species has potential far beyond what Korak sees. You have the spark of something great, something we might not even understand yet." But the others, the Council, they are blinded by their own sense of superiority. Despite Koresh's apparent sincerity, Dr. Reed could not ignore the growing unrest within the Kunari ranks. She discovered that not all of the Kunari shared the same view. In fact, there were factions within their society that believed humanity was a danger, a species that might pose a threat to galactic stability if allowed to grow. These factions believed that the only solution was humanity's extermination. They viewed Earth's rise to power as an inevitable disruptor to the balance of the galaxy. The Kunari were not just offering humanity technology, they were testing whether Earth could be trusted to wield such power without threatening the delicate order of the cosmos. Dr. Reed's faith in the Kunari began to falter. She no longer saw them as simply benevolent teachers. They were a species with their own agenda, their own interests. The more she learned, the more she questioned whether the Kunari could truly be trusted. Would they manipulate Earth into becoming their pawn, or was there a deeper, darker plan at play? Meanwhile, Earth was not only divided among itself, but within its own factions. A radical group known as the Galactic Pioneers began to rise in influence. They were not concerned with the Kunari's demands or their tests. Instead, they saw the arrival of the Kunari as a golden opportunity. They believed that humanity should seize the moment and accept the Kunari's technology without waiting for the aliens to set the terms. The Galactic Pioneers argued that humanity's future depended on its expansion into the stars. They were willing to risk everything, even if it meant embracing the Kunari's offer without understanding the full consequences. This reckless approach, however, could have disastrous consequences. By accepting the Kunari's technology without fully comprehending the implications, humanity could easily fall under their control. Worse, it could ignite a galactic war. The Galactic Pioneers' actions could provoke other alien species who saw humanity's sudden rise as a threat. The tension between these factions, those who wanted to accept the Kunari's offer and those who feared its consequences, was palpable. Dr. Reed found herself increasingly torn. Her loyalty to humanity's independence clashed with her belief that the Kunari had something important to offer. Should she fight to protect Earth's autonomy, or should she trust in the Kunari's vision for the future? The stakes had never been higher, and every decision seemed fraught with danger. As Dr. Reed's investigation into the Kunari's true intentions deepened, she faced a moral and intellectual dilemma. Would humanity's pursuit of expansion, at the cost of their independence, be worth it? Or would the temptation of power lead them down a path from which they might never return? The future of Earth, and the very fate of humanity itself, now lay in the balance. The days after the Kunari's arrival felt like the calm before a storm. Dr. Elena Reed, once full of hope that humanity might find its place among the stars, had started to see cracks in the grand vision. Her research had begun to unearth more unsettling truths about the aliens and about humanity's potential role in the galactic future. The initial arrogance of the Kunari, their condescending tone, and the challenge they presented to humanity had shaken Dr. Reed's confidence. She had believed, like many others, that the aliens were offering a gift technology to help Earth reach beyond its planet. But the deeper she dug into the Kunari's culture and history, the more she realized that their intentions were far more complex and dangerous than she had ever imagined. One late night, while sifting through a massive trove of data on the Kunari's past, she uncovered something extraordinary. The Kunari were not born as the grand, powerful species they appeared to be. In fact, they had once been a small, isolated race, struggling for survival in a galaxy filled with far stronger civilizations. The Kunari had been on the brink of extinction until they discovered a rare, almost mythical truth about the universe. Their survival had not come from technology or weaponry. It had come from finding the right kind of species to interact with, a species that could evolve into something greater than it appeared. The Kunari's true mission, Dr. Reed realized with dawning horror, wasn't just to offer technology to humanity, it was to test humanity. The Kunari had been searching for a species that could join them in creating an interstellar alliance, a unified force that would span galaxies. Humanity, with its unique blend of resourcefulness and creativity, had been selected as the perfect candidate for this alliance. But the true test wasn't about technology, it was about humanity's character, its ability to transcend its weaknesses, overcome its self-destructive instincts, and become something more. This revelation shattered everything Dr. Reed had once believed about humanity's place in the universe. Earth, which had always seemed insignificant in the eyes of the cosmos, was now positioned at the center of an unimaginable future. Humanity could be the cornerstone of a galactic alliance, a force that could bring civilizations together across the stars. But there was a terrible price to pay. If humanity passed the test, the Kunai would elevate their technology and intellectual capabilities to levels far beyond anything they could comprehend. They would help humanity achieve unimaginable advancements. But it would come at a cost: freedom. Once humanity entered this galactic alliance, there would be no going back. Earth would no longer be a solitary planet, free to make its own choices. Humanity would be bound to the will of the Kunai and the other interstellar civilizations. The freedom Dr. Reed had always fought to protect: freedom of thought. Earth would become just another cog in a vast, intergalactic machine. It was a terrifying thought. But Dr. Reed couldn't deny the allure of the Kunai's offer. The chance to elevate humanity beyond the boundaries of its small planet, to push the limits of human potential, to join a community of civilizations that spanned the stars. It was a dream come true for some, a nightmare for others. And then, just when Dr. Reed thought she had begun to understand the Kunai's motives, a shocking twist revealed a new layer of complexity. The Galactic Pioneers, the radical human faction that had been pushing for humanity to embrace the Kunai's technology, had been secretly working with the Kunai's enemies, the TLR. The TLR were a rival species, one that viewed the Kunai's expansion as a direct threat to their own dominance. The TLR had been watching humanity closely, manipulating events behind the scenes. They had intentionally pushed the Galactic Pioneers into aligning with the Kunai, not to help humanity, but to drive a wedge between Earth and the Kunai, leading to a greater conflict. The TLR hoped that by fueling humanity's ambition and pushing them toward the Kunai, they could spark a war that would destroy both species. The TLR were betting on humanity's rashness, its desire for power, to start a chain reaction that would tear apart the fragile peace between civilizations. Dr. Reed's world turned upside down. Everything she had worked for, everything she believed in, was suddenly thrown into chaos. Humanity's potential future, once seen as a bright and exciting horizon, was now mired in the worst kind of political intrigue and betrayal. The Galactic Pioneers, in their desire to push humanity toward the stars, had unknowingly played into the hands of the TLR, who were now determined to destroy Earth's future before it had even begun. As Dr. Reed pieced the puzzle together, she felt the weight of the decision before her grow heavier with each passing day. The Kunai had tested humanity's ability to survive and thrive, but they had never warned Earth about the dangerous forces lurking in the shadows, forces that wanted to destroy everything humanity could become. Now, Dr. Reed faced a choice. Should she accept the Kunai's offer, risking humanity's freedom and independence to secure its place in the stars? Or should she align with the rebels who oppose the Kunai's influence, even if that meant war with both the Kunai and their enemies? The emotional toll on Dr. Reed was immense. She had spent her life fighting for humanity's right to exist on its own terms. Now, she had to confront a moral dilemma of unprecedented scale. Was humanity truly ready for the power the Kunai offered? Could humans handle the immense responsibility of being part of an intergalactic alliance? Or would they, like the Kunai before them, fall victim to their own instincts, pride, greed, and a thirst for dominance? In the quiet of her office, staring at the holographic map of the galaxy, Dr. Reed felt a pang of doubt. Is humanity ready for this? The question echoed in her mind, refusing to be silenced. Her decision would define the future, not just for Earth, but for the entire galaxy. But there was no easy answer. In a gut-wrenching moment, she realized that there was no such thing as a perfect choice. Every path led to sacrifice. Every road had consequences. And the fate of humanity and the entire galaxy would depend on which road she chose. The stage was set. The decision loomed. And soon, Dr. Reed would have to act. Dr. Elena Reed stood at the precipice of an impossible decision. The tension of the previous days had boiled over, and now the galaxy was watching. The choice before her was clear but deeply agonizing. Should she accept the Kunai's offer and embrace the promise of a powerful intergalactic alliance? Or should humanity remain independent, rejecting the alien influence and risking everything for the sake of freedom? In the end, Dr. Reed's choice came not from a place of certainty, but of instinct. Humanity had always struggled to define itself, but one thing was certain: freedom. It was a core value, the essence of what made humanity unique, and it was something that could never be surrendered, no matter the cost. She couldn't allow Earth to become a cog in an intergalactic machine. Humanity was more than just one planet. They were a species defined by its potential for change, innovation, and above all, its freedom to shape its own destiny. She made the call. She would reject the Kunari's offer. The response came swiftly. The Kunari, who had once been so confident in their position, were forced to confront the unexpected, a humanity that wouldn't bend, a species that valued its independence more than its desire for power. In a final confrontation, the truth came spilling out. The Kunari had not come to offer humanity technology to uplift them. They had come to test whether humanity could join them in the great interstellar alliance. But there was something even deeper, something they had not anticipated. The Kunari had believed that no species, let alone humanity, could understand the true meaning of unity. They had been wrong. Humanity's rejection of their offer did more than just shock the Kunari. It sparked something that no one expected. As Earth's leaders made their stand, something far greater than a refusal took shape. The message humanity sent to the galaxy, loud and clear, was one of unity, not enforced unity, but a unity of freedom. It was the very thing the Kunari had never believed possible. They had thought humanity would crumble under the weight of power, that the temptation of galactic dominion would be too great to resist. Instead, humanity's desire for independence and autonomy ignited a wave of revolutions across the galaxy. The spark Dr. Reed had hoped for spread, lighting the fires of rebellion among species that had long been subjugated or manipulated by the more dominant powers in the universe. Worlds that had once been silenced began to rise, led by the same ideals that had inspired Earth's resistance. The Kunari, for all their power and technology, had failed to understand the profound drive within humanity for self-determination. Freedom was a force far stronger than technology. But as the dust settled and the galaxy began to realign itself in the wake of humanity's choice, the cost of rejecting the Kunari's offer became painfully apparent. Humanity now faced an uncertain future. They had no access to the advanced technologies the Kunari could have provided. No more starships capable of interstellar travel. No more weapons to protect them from the countless dangers of the cosmos. Instead, humanity had only its own ingenuity and the nascent alliances it had formed with the other species who had followed its example. The uncertainty was palpable. Would Earth be able to defend itself against the growing threats now that it had rejected the might of the Kunari? Would humanity's rebellious spirit, its drive for independence, be enough to guide it through the vast unknown? The question of whether humanity was truly ready to lead the galaxy now weighed heavily on Dr. Reed's heart. But even in the midst of this uncertainty, an unexpected discovery emerged, one that could change everything. Deep beneath the surface of Earth, in a long-forgotten archive, Dr. Reed uncovered a long-lost secret, a remnant of an ancient galactic civilization that had once existed long before the Kunari. This civilization, far older than anything known to the Kunari, had left behind a legacy of technology and wisdom. Hidden away on Earth for millennia, these remnants held the keys to technologies that could help humanity rise beyond its current limits. The significance of this discovery was staggering. Earth had always been seen as a relatively insignificant planet, yet here, hidden beneath its surface, was a treasure trove of knowledge that could rival the Kunari's most advanced technology. This secret history was the final, unexpected twist in the story. It turned the tables on everything the Kunari had believed about humanity's place in the universe. Perhaps, Dr. Reed thought, Earth had never been just one planet after all. Maybe it had been waiting for humanity to discover its true potential, not through the help of the Kunari, but through its own hidden legacy. As Dr. Reed stood on the threshold of this revelation, a new sense of purpose filled her. Humanity was no longer defined by the struggle for survival, nor by the desire to prove itself to the Kunari. It was defined by its ability to rise on its own, to embrace its future without relying on the support of others. Earth had something no other planet had, a unique place in the grand story of the galaxy. But that still left one lingering question in Dr. Reed's mind: was humanity truly ready to lead the galaxy? They had proved they could fight for freedom, that they could reject manipulation and control. But did they have the wisdom to wield power responsibly? Could humanity handle the responsibility of not only shaping its own future, but also guiding other species towards a better, more unified future? The future of the galaxy was still uncertain, and the story of humanity was far from over. For every victory, there was a cost, and for every path forward, there was a dark unknown waiting just beyond the horizon. Dr. Reed stood there, looking up at the stars, her thoughts heavy with the weight of the decision she had made. Humanity had rejected the offer of power, choosing instead to carve its own destiny. But as she gazed into the infinite expanse of space, she realized that the real question had always been about more than just power or freedom. It was about identity. What does it mean to be truly free? And as Earth's future unfolded, with the stars beckoning on the horizon, Dr. Reed knew that the greatest challenge for humanity would not be survival. It would be to ensure that the freedom they fought for did not become their greatest undoing. The galaxy would watch, as would the future of a species that had proven it was more than just one planet. But in the face of all that power, would humanity still keep its soul? The journey was only just beginning,